So I'd like to share a story about this one client who had a TMJ situation. She couldn't close her mouth for months and would walk around and talk like this, okay? And who was in a great deal of pain. The chiropractor treated her, one of the massage therapists, that is a king on TMJ, treated her, and yet she was still like this. So there I had the device with the attachment right on the masseter muscle. And it took about 5.5 to 6 minutes for the device to go ahead and tell me that the tissue had reached equilibrium. I got up to walk around the table to treat her other side, and I heard her say, "Oh my goodness," and I had to quick turn around and say, "Oh, you know, is something wrong?" But no, her jaw closed for the first time in a very, very long time.
I fell down a stairway in 1988. I crushed my left elbow, broke my wrist, probably blew out my shoulder, injured my neck. And the recovery from that injury was slow, painful. I started using it, experimenting, and 2 weeks later my pain had dropped so much. I had pain neck, shoulder blade, shoulder, my elbow, wrist, hand, and within 2 weeks my pain was, the majority of it was gone.
Hi, I'm Dr. Darcy Brunk with Achieve Chiropractic. I started working with Avasia when one of my patients came in the door and he said, "There is a guy I've got to introduce you to," and that was Tim Smith. He's the inventor of the Avasia devices. I currently at the time had plantar fasciitis, and he suggested I treat it that evening. Went ahead and, like most chiropractors and doctors, very skeptically took the device home and treated my foot while I was watching a football game by literally just putting pads on, turning the RSI signal on, and letting it run. Now, prior to treatment, I could hardly walk across the tile floor. By the time halftime hit, I got up, went to get a drink, and there was no pain in my foot whatsoever. Now, being a research-oriented doctor, that wasn't good enough for me, so I actually started to slam my foot on the floor to try and make it hurt, and believe it or not, that didn't even work. It had completely alleviated the pain in my foot, and it did not come back. I'm an athletic doctor. I treat a lot of athletes. We need to get them to have quick return to play. Now, I don't really even have to know where the main source of problem is. I can take biofeedback readings on the body, and the body will actually communicate with the biofeedback signaling of the cybernetics in the device and tell me where the worst point of problem is. So this was something that gave me a lot of recognition in my community as a doctor that went beyond chiropractic. Now I see athletes of all sorts. I've seen professional athletes and high school athletes. I also treat the patients with chronic pain and the patients with scoliosis. No matter what the problem, it seems to bring it up a level for me as a chiropractor, because I can not only adjust them now, but I can set that adjustment in, let it hold for longer periods of time, and actually deal with the pain immediately for my patient. After meeting Tim, we got into working with carpal tunnel. In my clinic, there's not a carpal tunnel case that we haven't helped yet. It is a definite device that will help us to avoid surgeries for patients because of what it does for us. We actually taken a nerve conduction test of a patient's nerves in their arm before treatment, and we had loss of nerve conductivity. 30 days of treatment, and we did another nerve test, and that nerve had not only restored itself, but it was functioning better than the arm that had no symptoms at all. So is that a game changer? Absolutely.